End of July, all of a sudden, a massive game in the Eastern Conference. Red Bull in ninth, Chicago Fire in 10th. The playoff line separates the two teams right now. Max, appreciate you coming on, giving me a couple minutes here. I hate to say that it's a huge game in July, but I think it's easy to say that right now. Two teams trying to figure their way into the postseason, make sure they're playing at the end of October.
Yeah, first of all, always a pleasure to chat. So thanks for having me. And yeah, I don't want to say it's must win because it's July and it never really truly feels like that until maybe early September. But anytime you got one team just on the outside looking in and one team just on the cusp of, not being in the playoff picture. And we had this when we played Charlotte very recently in July too. So always entertaining. And come the end of the regular season, one of these two sides could definitely be looking back and ruining a potential missed opportunity.
Tell me from a standpoint of, not quite two-thirds in, but just about two-thirds of the year in, how Greg Berhalter, his system is starting to either gel or things that are missing in terms of where Chicago sits about two-thirds of the year in.
Well, things have definitely gelled, and last week we kind of passed a nice little barometer where we've already surpassed our goal output from a year ago, and now we've surpassed our point output from 2024 as well. So year one, we're not yet through July, and to already be on 32 points. We finished with 30 last year, obviously at 15th in the East. Things have certainly been clicking, and it's kind of funny because storylines for you guys versus us are kind of polar opposites, where we can't buy a win at home. We've got two wins in 10 tries, and obviously you guys have one road win. So this is kind of an area where both of us have really struggled. 7 road wins. We lead MLS in road goals by 9. So our form has been terrific. It's really carried over well on our road travels, but I think we're trying to please the home fans a little bit more under Greg this year.
Tell me if there's a rationale to that at all. I mean, on the road, so good for Chicago this year. At home, just haven't, as you said, 2 wins and 10 tries, have not been able to really put things together. And listen, you can be as good as you want to be on the road all during the course of the year, but to have success, you have to make sure you're getting points at home, especially now as the calendar is mid to late summer almost.
Yeah, absolutely. My partner on the radio, Dayton Robinson, who had a long MLS career, always says, you got to get the wins at home and you got to at least, gun for a draw away from home, right? And things have almost been reversed for us in terms of, the results that have actually occurred. But it's been great having Greg because he's so transparent. And I think you and I spoke about that in April. And he's basically said, hey, we love the numbers we're seeing at home, XG, XGA. What we're playing at home seems pretty solid. It's just been, obviously luck's always a factor in a sport where there's only going to be a couple of moments that lead to goals on any given occasion. But I think the home results, we've come out a little slow. We've been falling behind early a lot. And for whatever rhyme or reason, on the road, it just feels like we come out with a little bit more of a vengeance. I don't think there's, an actual reason there, but hopefully it finds its level at home at least.
Let's finish with a two-part question. First, Chicago second in goals scored in the Eastern Conference through their games. Offensively, they've been good, and I think the good probably goes part and parcel with good balance overall, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's a team that's playing, very comfortably, whether we're at home, honestly, or on the road, in possession or not in possession, willing to break you down with the ball and whether to, willing to counter when we don't. But obviously, our lone all-star, Philip Zinkernagel's having one of the best seasons the Fire have had. First Fire player to ever have a 10-10 season after he had the assist on Saturday on the Jack Elliott header on the corner. And also tied Joseph Martinez, MLS record, 10 straight road games with a goal contribution, which has been wild. So hopefully he can start a home streak of that sort too.
On the flip side, Max, fourth most goals given up. So going forward, great. Defending final third has not been great so far this year. Tell us a little bit why that might be.
Well, it certainly has led to, first of all, a lot of entertaining tilts, as you can imagine. We've conceded 7 at Nashville. We've also scored 7 at DC. So we've had some high scoring affairs this year. But, I think for a while it was trying to figure out that center back tandem. Carlos Terán has had trouble staying out there on the pitch. Christopher Cupps comes in as one of the youngest guys in the league, and then he breaks his leg. He's out for a while. So, with Rogers back there, with Elliott more consistent, coming off our 3rd clean sheet. Hopefully that's building a little bit of confidence back there. And then, yeah, I mean, we've had some injuries early in the year. It felt like on the back line and then in the midfield, but it feels like we're getting just about as healthy as possible outside of maybe that center back tandem. But we'll see if, what happens down the stretch here.